When you're launching a new product on Amazon, you have two paths you can take. Path one, list it and sit. You create the product listing, run a PPC campaign, and cross your fingers while praying to Jeff Bezos to bless your product. And then we have path two, follow a systematic approach to launching new products with proven strategies that top performing Amazon brands use. If you like the idea of path one, prepare to have fun struggling with Amazon and eventually quitting because it's too saturated. But if you're interested in learning about path two, it's exactly what I'm going to be covering in this video. These are the same strategies I actively use right now to grow my 7-figure Amazon brands and launch new products. And in case you're thinking, well, just because it works for you doesn't mean it works for beginners, I'm going to flash a few case studies from people I've helped launch successful products and scale successful brands on Amazon. So yes, this can work for you too, assuming you've already done a good job finding and differentiating a product in an underserved niche. Now, here's a very high level overview and simplified summary of the steps leading up to actually launching a product, which basically looks like making sure the product's keywords has high search volume with low competition, ensuring the main keyword has multiple other keywords, say 10 to 15 sub keywords with 1,000 searches per month. This just ensures the actual depth to the market and multiple keywords to rank for. Analyzing competitors and their customer feedback to understand how you can differentiate the product to either improve the overall product or so that it's angled towards helping a specific subcategory of customers. Negotiating with suppliers to ensure your profit margins are good and ordering samples to ensure quality matches your expectations. Confirming your brand name to get a trademark and ultimately get brand registered. Once we have all of these out of the way with green check marks across the board, we can prepare for the actual launch. So the first thing on my product launch checklist is inventory management and FBA prep. At this stage, I want to estimate the demand of the product accurately to make sure I won't completely run out of stock. I use tools such as Helium 10 to get an idea of how many units my competitors are moving monthly, but the reality is you won't know how many you are going to sell until you actually have your product live. So that's why I always start with at least 300 to 500 units. Once my product is live, I make sure my virtual assistants keep an eye on average daily sales I'm having. This is easily something you can do yourself too. And Amazon also shows you how many units you have left, and they'll actually recommend when to reorder, as will Helium 10 if you connect your Amazon account. But the best way, in my opinion, to actually stay on top of inventory is just simply calculate your average daily sales, then look at how many units you have left so you can kind of estimate at what point you will run out of stock. I then confirm what my lead time is, and lead time is how long it takes for your products to get produced and then shipped from China to Amazon. And so by keeping an eye on average sales, how many units you have left, and how long it will take for more inventory to arrive, I can calculate when I need to reorder. Little tip I have for you is it's much better to order prematurely rather than late. Running out of stock completely kills the momentum of your business as you will lose your ranking, so you want to make sure you never run out. I also have to make sure I'm meeting all FBA requirements, including properly labeling and packaging everything, having the right barcodes, and your suppliers should know how to do all of this. You just need to send the labels to them. I'd also suggest having a designer put together an insert card to add into your packaging. This will increase your review rate. Now, the next thing on my product launch checklist is listing optimization. Starting with the title and bullet points, it's important that we are using our keywords as frequently as we can while balancing readability. So here's a bad example of a listing title and the bullet points. And here's a good example of a listing title and bullet points. Now let's discuss the product description. Product description is really the least important section of your listing, especially when it comes to what Amazon's algorithm looks at. Nonetheless, it's still important and can play a vital role in your conversions if done right. So as we saw in one listing, the description is simply words written in a poor format, no spacing / organization. Although that's not the issue. The issue is not having A+ content to replace your description. As we can see in the other listing, they have more imagery with the text to describe the product. This is something that only brand registered sellers can get. It's not 2020 anymore. It's pretty damn competitive. So get brand registered and do A+ content instead of a normal only words description if you want to increase your conversions. Which brings me to the importance of having high quality media in your listings. This doesn't just mean photos of your product alone. It also includes infographics, videos, and lifestyle images of the product being used. Regardless of your budget, you can achieve high quality images for your product. I also prefer 3D rendered images lately as they can come out a lot more crisp. You can easily hire someone for $200 to $400 to do 3D renders for you on Fiverr or Upwork. And I would structure your images as follows. One main image, white background as per Amazon's requirements. Make sure to show everything and anything that is included in your product, any bonus items, custom packaging, etc. Then we have 3 infographics. So here we can show the benefits, dimensions, and perhaps a comparison of our product versus the competitors. Lastly, we have 3 lifestyle images. So showing your product off in different scenarios to represent how your product will make the buyer's life easier. If you want to make your listing even better, I would scratch one of the lifestyle images and I would replace it with a product video to increase your conversions. With the inventory and listing setup, now I can move on to the pre-launch strategy. This includes building hype, planning the launch day, and setting up PPC. And so I would highly recommend reaching out to multiple influencers within your niche and offer them your product for free. Now, depending on the size of the creator, oftentimes you'll have to pay a fee or commission on sales, but this is oftentimes overlooked. Also, make sure to create your own social media pages and ideally post consistently every single day. Platforms like Instagram, Reels specifically, and TikTok still have great opportunities for your videos or influencers' videos to go viral even as a small creator. Although this requires more work and potentially money, it's highly worth it in my opinion. Many people skip this step just because they're lazy. So if you want to separate yourself from the average seller, utilize this strategy. And lastly, PPC setup. So first of all, my goal is to try and be as aggressive as possible my first month with PPC spend. I want to reach page 1 fast, so I'm not super worried about profits initially, but more so ranking fast, which in turn will allow me to hit profits faster. I would budget at the very minimum $1,000 for your first month, but if you can budget more, then I would do so. I like to start off with some auto campaigns just to collect data and see which keywords are working. I'll then allocate my budget towards 2 to 3 keywords that I notice are performing well from the auto campaigns. Ideally, these keywords have a range in search volume from 2,000 to 10,000 searches per month. I will then monitor my campaigns every day, but only make changes 1 to 3 times per week just to let the campaigns actually work and get some good data back. I especially pay attention to my ACoS, which is the advertising cost of a sale. Ideally, this should be below 20%, but it's very normal that maybe a bit higher within your first 1 to 3 months. Now, on the actual day of the launch, emotions are high, but we need to stick to the process. First, I would enroll into the Vine program, which will allow you to gain initial reviews, which is crucial. You can only enroll into a Vine if you are brand registered, and you should have already set this up as discussed earlier. I would also suggest getting some people you know to purchase and leave reviews. I typically ensure I have at least 4 to 6 reviews before turning on PPC. Now, for anyone you know buying your product, make sure they're in different states, spread the 4 to 6 reviews over a couple of weeks. You're also going to create a super URL for them to buy from so it looks natural to Amazon. And when you create a super URL, you also input a specific keyword that you want included in the URL. And so this tricks Amazon's algorithm into thinking the buyer searched a keyword and then bought your product, which in turn also helps your rank. With the launch day finished, we still have a post-launch section in this checklist, which mainly includes monitoring your PPC campaigns and inventory to make sure you stay in stock. During the post-launch phase, you can do things such as A/B testing on your main image just to see what converts better. Also, keep an eye on pricing and adjust this as needed. Typically, I have a slightly lower price in the beginning and slowly will raise it up as I gain more reviews and more momentum. So if you're interested in free resources to start your Amazon FBA business, I have a free Amazon course in the description, and you can also apply to work with me directly.